Hi!
How are you?
Welcome back to our channel. This is the Argentine Rugby Breakdown.
Correct.
I'm Flore.
I'm Pato.
And we're going to do a full review of round 4 of the tournament.
Yes.
Of the Super Rugby Americas tournament. Let's start. The first game of the round was Dogos against Selknam. It was the first game of Selknam playing away, and it was very surprising because we both thought that Selknam will have this game and will win, but we were wrong.
Yeah, we were wrong.
It's important to say that it was a very hot weekend in Argentina and in Uruguay as well, and that kind of was a very important
factor.
Yeah, in all matches. But saying so, I think those showed really good things, like tactic things, and playing with using the weather in their favor and adapting the game to a different type of. They have that capability of adapting, and I think Selknam it's not that tuned yet.
I don't know. I think Dogos brought the game to Selknam. They were strong, physically strong. They prevailed in the contact where Selknam couldn't. Something also that Pampas lacked in. Pampas on the game against Selknam, they were losing on the contact. They were always. When they went into contact, they were always going backwards, never even winning the advantage. And Dogos was all different about that. They just won the contact. They were strong. They brought the fight up to them, and Selknam couldn't resist that. I believed that from the beginning it was going to be a tough game, a very even game. But in the end, it was going to be Selknam's kind of experience that was going to give the win to them, but it was not to be because
and it never was during the whole game. Like they were losing from start to end.
Yes.
I think Dogos kind of raised their hand saying we're here.
We are a contender.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially because the previous week they had to play against Peñarol, and they won on the last part of the game due to, here we say that the Peñarol expertise and being the experience they have. We thought this was going to be the same, and it didn't. And Dogos was controlling the whole game. There was only a few minutes there when a period of time where Dogos kind of lost control after they scored a try. They made a penalty. I mean, the restart was with a penalty. And then they gave away a penalty, a try, and guess there was also a yellow card there. But around that time was the only moment where Selknam had chances and scored. And even then, they didn't take advantage of the full having played against 14. It was surprising from Selknam to show this performance because they were doing so well. But there's also something I'm not sure how did it affect them, is that the week before they had a bye, they took that week and started doing the training for the World Cup, so they changed the physical kind of workout they had to do, like it was a preseason for the World Cup. So I think that might have affected them physically, not to be kind of the right kind of rhythm for the game. More than the rhythm for this kind of hard training, preparing for the World Cup, that might have affected. And that's something that's going to happen also to Peñarol, because both of these teams, 99% of the 100% of their players are from their country, and they are
the players that will play in the World Cup. So you have them in Selknam and in Peñarol, but also you have them in Chile and in Uruguay. So
especially Chile, because they only have, I think, 1 or 2 players playing abroad. Uruguay have a couple more players playing in France, but Chile doesn't. So 100% of the players that are going to be in the World Cup from the Condors are going to be coming out of this squad they have here. So I think that's going to affect them both teams during the tournament.
And also we said that they're going to be rotating players, and the major thing for them this year, it's not the Super Rugby Americas, it's the World Cup. So you're going to see some unbalanced performances. So that's our view of the first game. We're going to go to the second.
Yes. Okay, so the second game of the week of the round 4 was Peñarol against Cobras. It was a really boring game, extremely boring game, very hard to watch. Cobras made it easy for Peñarol. Peñarol didn't have to work that much in the first half to even get the bonus point at that point in the first half. I think around 30-minute mark or 25th minute mark, they already had the 4 tries. Cobras was a machine of making mistakes and making kind of disciplinary faults and penalties all around. They made penalties in every part of the field. They almost didn't pass the half of the field in the first half, and tons of yellow cards. It was a disaster game.
They don't know what to do when things don't go as they want them to.
I think that the problem is they are. I don't know if it's just a lack of training or preparation or whatever, or just is the lack of quality of players, because they feel overwhelmed by their team playing at a different rhythm, a different kind of strength and tempo, kind of the tempo they're playing, and they're always finding themselves in offside or making silly penalties because not being as quick or not being as mentally quick to not do the stuff or no. So I don't know if it's just physical preparation or just that they are not as good players as the other ones, and they lack the quality to do those kind of silly mistakes. But I think it was the first half was all Peñarol. They did whatever they wanted. They scored whatever way they wanted.
Yeah, and the second half they relaxed. It was a tactic move, maybe, and I think it's okay. It was really hot. It's not need to overburn your players. If you have the bonus point in the first half, just keeping Cobras at bay kind of resolves the thing.
Maybe mentally the players just relax, say, okay, we're winning, we're controlling this, it's going on, because
we got this.
Yeah, we got this, because they had tons of chances in the second half, especially in the 22, and they scrums in favor balls, and they just lost it. They couldn't score. I think they scored once in the second half, and after that it was still attacking, being in the 22s of Cobras and not scoring. And then by the 65th minute, something like that, they just kind of gave the ball away to Cobras. And Cobras was saying, we have the ball, they're not pressuring us much, we are able to move a little bit the ball, and they did it. So they had Peñarol cornered for the last 15 minutes. They only scored once. Cobras only scored once. So they could have scored a second try in those 15 minutes. And the other thing, they had them cornered for 15 minutes and they were not able to score more than once. Yeah. So, Cobras.
The weakest game of the round.
Yeah, it was really, really disappointing. Peñarol didn't have to do much. Just by being there, maybe just their presence made they won the game with that. They didn't show much also, so it's more, they say they are correcting mistakes they've been having before, and from all the games they're being kind of improving.
I think they're playing it cool, you will win it, it's the game you win. I think it was tactic, so they can be more ready for more complicated games.
Yeah, and once again, the World Cup, it's on their mind, and that's the main objective, and they're gonna stress it that much about these games, especially having that objective in the future. So
I'm really intrigued. I want to see Ramptors against Cobras, because
it's gonna be.
I'm not sure which team is the weakest now of the league.
Yes.
because Cobras, it's a team that we have been playing for a few years together, but they are all with very inexperienced players, and then in Raptors you have a few experienced players. It's a very new squad, but you have very important names, rugby names on it. So I'm very intrigued to see that match.
It could be really funny, interesting game, or it could
would be really boring.
Or it could be really boring.
So yeah, that was our review of the second game of the round. We're going to go to talk about the third one. The last game of the round was Yacares versus Raptors. It was Yacares' first game at home. It was a disappointing game for me, for Yacares. I don't know. I was expecting a little bit more of them as a squad, like developing more of a play, more of tactics, and it's this thing we've been saying that it takes them like 60 minutes to kind of break the other team. Raptors was very, very close, like they were 6 points away, a try away, and then on the 60-minute, finally Yacares kind of got rid of it and could like close the game, but they were struggling a lot, and it was kind of weird to see that.
Yeah, it was a strange game. Yacares, they lent the ball to each other. They were kind of not keeping control of the ball that much. Both teams made tons of mistakes. Yacares had lots of chances of scoring. They didn't.
The Raptors had 2 yellow cards at some point, and I think they got Yacares got a penalty. That's or a try maybe.
And Yacares had the opportunities. They didn't score. They missed I think a couple of penalty kicks as well, and it took 20 minutes for Yacares to score the first try.
Yes.
And the incredible thing is that in the second half it took them also 20 minutes for them to score the second try and to close the game at that point. And it was kind of, they show more intent if you want. Once again, the halfback of Yacares was man of the match. He's an Argentinian, Chaupe,
I think,
and he was the man of the match, and he's kind of, so far I think he's the best 9 of the competition.
Definitely.
And they were trying.
We like Amarilla also at center.
And they have really interesting players. They have Chaupe, they have Amarilla, the center, the Argentine. They have the fullback, another Argentine. They have the other one, the other blonde one that was played 13. They won both centers, 12 and 13. They were good. They were Argentinians, and they were trying, right? But it's just like they were missing the last. And
it's this thing that it's like
I'm sorry, and they were keeping Raptors alive. Because they had the chances. They just scored, and suddenly they were giving the ball away, and Raptors said, "Well, we have the ball. Let's do something. Let's move the ball. Let's go into contact and see until we lose the ball and we give them back again."
For me, it's this. I was going to say I'm not sure at what point it's Raptors good playing that make Yacares that hard too, or it's just Yacares' lack of ability of scoring and on opening the game and reading it and making decisions to adapt to what they have in front. So I don't know if it's a good thing that Raptors is doing, or it's a bad thing that Yacares is doing that took them that long to.
No, I think it's Yacares. I think it was Yacares
all along.
Yeah, inexperience to kind of score the points, to get in 22s and score and make the right decision and make the right play and score. I think it's practice, experience, and still, as we've been saying before, young players, new tournament. I think most of the Yacares players are Argentinians once again. And they are young players once again, and so that's part of the kind of lack of finesse we're seeing in this tournament in many cases, especially with the teams who have young players.
I think it's more kind of something that repeats in all the reviews we do and all the things we talk about this tournament, this array. It's this. We always say they need more experience, but also we demand something that they're lacking of. They are very young players, all of them, and this is a developing tournament, so we can't expect them to be the European tournament or the Super Rugby Pacific. It's a totally different tournament. Here you're watching what will be rugby names in Argentina maybe in the next 5 years.
Yes, exactly.
For this, not this World Cup, but the other one.
You're watching which Uruguayan and Chilean players are going to be taking place in the World Cup. And in case of Brazil and Paraguay, you're going to be seeing
10 years.
Yeah, because so far, I mean, they don't have enough amount of players to field a 23 squad on the game day.
And make it entertaining. That's the thing.
Yes.
As well.
And the reason they don't field 23, I mean, they have 23 players to put there, but it's the level of those players. So right now they are filled with tons of Argentinians, let's put it that way, because especially Paraguay, because they don't have players at that similar level to be playing the tournament. So yeah, Paraguay is going to take the longest because it's the one has least amount of players, least developed. Brazil is next. We've seen that Chile in 4 years they managed to have the whole squad made of players, and they're going to World Cup. Uruguay already has the full squad made of home players and homegrown players, and they have players playing abroad. So they are already in a good position to continue to grow in this situation. Paraguay and Brazil, they are less developed, and they're going to take a longer time. So I don't expect for us to see a Paraguayan team filled of Paraguayan players, at least 90% of the squad being from Paraguay for next 8 years at the least, even 10 might be. Brazil may be different. Maybe in 5 years Brazil can have 90% of the squad being all of Brazilians, born or raised or prepared.
Yeah, that's the idea. Also, as you keep bringing Brazilian players to play in the Brazil squad and Paraguayan players to play in the Paraguayan squad, you will move those Argentinians from those teams to more Argentinian squads. Like you will have, I don't know, 2 more in next year or the other one. So you will have a bigger base of players.
Yes.
And it's all about developing. Maybe in 10 years from now, when people say, "Oh, what happened? Brazil is in the..." Like we have a very competitive Americas rugby squads, and this is how everything started.
Yes.
So that's why we're watching. That's why we're making these videos. It's kind of encouragement to a bigger thing.
Yes.
It's part of a process.
The problem is that we come from Argentina watching a different level of rugby. We're rugby fans, we watch rugby from abroad. We watch our own rugby competitions here in Argentina or amateur tournaments, and knowing the quality of the players we have, it's very hard for us not to criticize the level that we see, especially because if the tournament doesn't improve, if the Argentinians team doesn't improve, it's going to be hard for those teams to bring more Argentine fans into the competition, because they are not seeing
they're not seen as entertaining as they want them to be.
They rather I'm talking seriously. There's some good.
Yeah, we have this conversation.
Yeah, we had this conversation with a friend of ours with which we've gone to rugby matches of Jaguars every day. And he doesn't watch this competition. He finds it boring. He will watch all the other competitions on TV, but he doesn't like this competition. He finds it boring. He finds the Argentinian teams boring, lacking of level, of quality, of performance quality, right? Not of players. And he'd rather watch the Buenos Aires Amateur League than this. And to an extent, that league is much more entertaining than this one right now. Well, they haven't started, but at this level, because really the Argentinian teams haven't brought, except for Dogos, they haven't come on showed the level that they could achieve.
Yeah.
If Pampas brought that, if Pampas was showing the same level as Dogos, the story might be different. If they were playing at the same level as Selknam or the same level as Peñarol, just like Dogos did, that would be a different story. But since they're not doing it, and it's the Buenos Aires-based team that's not bringing that, it's the largest population, it's the largest rugby fan base. Yeah, well, you're not going to have tons of Argentinians, or at least from Buenos Aires, following the tournament.
So that's our review.
Yeah.
We're going to do probably a preview about the next round 5.
If the weather is good, we are going to go and watch the Argentine
Classic.
The Argentine Classic.
Pampas will play Dogos
here in Buenos Aires.
So, but there will be raining apparently. If it's raining, we're going to watch it at home. If it's not raining, we're going to go to the club to watch it live.
Yeah, once again.
So thank you for watching. Again, here are our
social media.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks to us if you want to follow us or comment or anything. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.
Bye.